The New South Wales gambling sector is facing the biggest overhaul it's ever seen, really, since pokies were made legal in the 1950s. That's if the state government wins the upcoming election. Dominic Perrottet's plan does include a ban, essentially, that poker machines are all cashless across the state within 5 years. Joining me live now is a federal independent MP for Fowler, Dai in Western Sydney. Thanks so much for your time. I appreciate this. I know you'll be looking at this with great interest. We've seen indications also from Chris Minns on the Labor side that he is willing to really look at poker machine and gambling reform. But first of all, Dai, what do you think of this plan from Dominic Perrottet this morning?
Look, good morning to your audience, and thank you for having me. Look, I think I first of all, I have to congratulate the Premier for pushing this reform through. I know that there has been a challenging journey for him to try and introduce the cashless card to his, obviously, coalition team. At least it's a first step towards reducing or working towards reducing gambling harm across, obviously, New South Wales. But can I say that my community in Fowler, where a large proportion, a significant disadvantaged population, actually have one of the largest problems in terms of gambling in the state of New South Wales. I think it's about $174 million losses in gambling from Fairfield, our area alone. Yeah. And I think above that is Bankstown, Canterbury. So there's a lot of losses, families impacting people's lives. It's the ramifications is huge.
Yeah, Dai, that's why we're talking to you this morning, because this is a big problem in your electorate. So we see the reforms today, cashless gaming in 5 years. They have to set a daily limit. That daily limit can't be changed for a week. There is an exclusion list statewide. What do you see in your electorate, the effects of gambling, and do you think this will work?
Look, I as somebody who's personally been impacted by gambling, in the family, it has a personal impact. It has mental anguish. It causes mental health, and it has an extended, pain and suffering in the family. And the issue with gambling, and a lot of people sit in, I know that there's an implementation team that is going to be looking at the implementation of this cashless card. First of all, many of them have not lived through what my community, many people in my community has lived through in terms of losses, in terms of domestic violence, in terms of mental health issues, in terms of, not having enough cash. People in my community, more than 70% of the population speak another language other than English, and they're a significant disadvantage in an area like Fairfield. So when it comes to making decisions and policies around gambling, you have to come to an area like Fowler to actually see the impact of gambling. And I know, look, local clubs, do try and contribute back to the community by obviously through club grants, through supporting local community projects. But that's only a really tiny drop in the ocean, the money that goes back to the community. And so, we'll see how this cashless card will, pull back, the gambling issues in our community, in communities like mine, in Fowler and in Southwest Sydney. We're yet to see the impact of those changes.